I found a hidden door in my apartment, and it wasn't on the blueprint. Part 2. If you haven't watched the first part, it's in my channel. Part 1 had a girl voice, but it's a guy, so I'll use a guy voice this time. Sorry again. It's only been about 24 hours roughly since I last posted. This was meant to go up yesterday. I haven't played with the door since, but I'm thinking about it. I got distracted and forgot to post. Here's what I wrote yesterday. I've had some time to think, and I'm starting to realize there were a lot of little things about this apartment that I brushed off. I don't know if it's because I'm overly rational or stupid. It's an old place, so I figured some oddities were just part of living in an old building, or so I thought. But looking back now, they feel a lot more like red flags. There were tons. You know that feeling you get when you move into a place and just accept things as they seem because you live there and feel as though you just know whatever the noises or scents are. It's kind of like that, but now I'm seeing the screen peel back a little and shit's getting Lovecraftian in my mind's eye. For one, the pipes have always been noisy, but not in a normal, clanky, old house kind of way. No, sometimes I'd hear this weird scraping, like something metal was being dragged through the walls. I always assumed birds or rats got in, or maybe just leaves and twigs rattling around the vents, but now I'm not sure. And every once in a while, I'd smell something off, like mold or something rotting, but I could never find the source. I just figured it was an old building and left it at that. That smell would linger and get on your skin like it was assimilating to you. It would fade after a while, but when it rose again, it would coat the back of your throat like drinking something hot. It always made me kind of nauseous. Then there's the weird drafts. Even in the middle of summer, I'd feel these cold breezes, especially near that wall behind the kitchen cabinet. It was always colder there, but I assumed it was just bad insulation or something. But it wasn't like a draft. It was like a whisper on the back of your neck, creeping down your spine and chilling you at your bones. Oh, and the building used to have a candy store on the first floor. It was owned by Shane's family. So that's fun. Creepy candy store dude. Can you say Dean Coral? Needless to say, it struck me as a little strange. I didn't think much of it at first. Figured it was just a cool fact about the place's history. It closed down years ago, and no one in town seems to know why. Or better yet, they don't really want to talk about it. I asked a fella on the way to my truck today about it. Well, really, I just asked him if he knew what the building used to be. He's an old man that sits out front facing the courthouse to read his paper every day like it's 1965. He's always there right around the time I leave. He was kinda hush about it, but he told me not to ask anyone else about it. All he said was it was a candy store. Shane's mother opened it years ago. Kept saying he couldn't really tell me and to ask Shane. He said it was a tragedy. He knew Shane's mother apparently, and always got peppermint sticks while he read his paper. I'm guessing she died? I can't find anything online, and I'm too tired to look anymore. I thought it was odd that a candy store, of all things, would go out of business in a small town full of families. And I thought it's even more strange that at one point Shane's gargantuan ass used to sell candy to children. Nothing besides Henry Rollins' screams get in the van better than this. Now, I'm really starting to think there's more to that story. Don't even get me started on the noises at night. It wasn't just the usual bumps and creaks of an old building. Sometimes it sounded like footsteps. Heavy ones. I live on the top floor. There's no one above me. That's when it started to feel strange, but I still wrote it off as the building settling or maybe just my imagination running wild. But now, I'm certain there's someone behind that door, or in this building. And sometimes there's a high-pitched noise that comes on when the water pressure is low, but other than that, I guess that's it. Honestly, I lived in a place with the same issue, so no biggie, but I guess it could be a red flag too. Now, with that door behind the wall, it's all starting to feel connected, and I'm not sure how much longer I can ignore it. More like I can't. I'm always working, but damn it if I haven't been hung up on this shit. I about welded a flange yoke to my shop table. I was so bent out of shape about it. If you're a welder in the automotive industry, you know that's just plain stupid. But anyway, that brings me to now. After spending half the day trying to focus on work, shout out to my clients waiting on their drivelines and trailers, I finally couldn't take it anymore. I had to see what was behind that door for myself. I grabbed my tools and went back to the house at around 6. Just a hammer and chisel. I mean, it was only sealed off by paint, or so I thought. The second I got close to that wall, things got weird. I started chipping around the seams of the door, separating the door frame from the door. First the smell hit me, stronger than ever. It was like something had died in there. It only took a few scrapes to unearth the stench, and once it was there, it didn't leave. It's still here with me. It lives with me now. It reminded me of a memory from my childhood, growing up in rural North Carolina. My folks were from the mountains and my mama used to walk me and all the other kids to school every morning. Daddy had the truck so we walked. One morning we all passed by a possum that had freshly died. The smell only got worse once it started rotting, and every day it'd get worse than before. After a few weeks it wasn't a possum anymore, just dry bone held together by a couple gnawed tendons. But it stayed with me for years. Simply due to the fact that why the hell did my mama always walk us down the same road every day? There were like 20 roads that lead to school. Why? Why steal my joy? Jesus. Anyway, that smell from my childhood was that of rotting flesh and a dry tinge of bone and decay, encumbered by a musky, gamey-like smell. The best way to describe the gamey smell would be that of a skunk pig. If you've ever been hunting in Texas or Arizona, you know what I mean. Whatever was coming from behind that wall had that smell, but behind it was a moist, thick, mildew-like hint of holy shit kill me. Like a cloth chair left in the rain for years, or a sofa in an old house. It was bad and I'm done describing it because just the thought makes me feel sick. Plus I'm catching whiffs here and there, so I'd rather just smell it and let it be than describe it and allow my brain to wonder what it is. I tried to ignore it, but as I started messing with the door even more, the stench got so bad I had to run to the trash and throw up. Mind you, I'm a 6'4", 250-pound 26-year-old truck and trailer welder with alcoholism, trust issues and a list of Tinder girls on speed dial. I've smelt some stank in my life, but that smell was so bad. Part 3 is on screen.